Hi, this is Kathleen Plate.
Hi, Kathleen. This is Blair from KiwiboxDotCom. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me.
Oh, of course. My pleasure.
Questions. I know I'm probably going to see your line tomorrow, too, so I'm
Yeah, I'm excited. I brought stuff also for your photo shoot, too, so you can pick that up tomorrow or look through. Yeah, I brought a bunch of stuff so you can look at it, and if something seems good, then, we'll send it with you.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, the line, I was researching line, looks amazing. And I know it's on, a bunch of different celebrities and stuff like that. But, so I just have a few questions to ask you, kind of just how you got started and stuff like that. So, I know that I was reading that you learned about stained glass from your mom, and I was just wondering what kind of things she used to make and how you kind of started getting interested in jewelry making as well.
Well, actually, my mom was like the quintessential 70s crafty mom, and we always had a project. So we were always doing things like macrame and, I don't know, stained glass was one of the things that she did, but she did it, like terrariums and whatever. And that's where I first learned. And the basics of the skills of working with glass and things. But I think that's also where I learned to just have a passion for making things.
Are you very artistic in other areas as well?
Yeah, I think that when you're an artist, you see the whole world as a project or a creation. So yeah.
And I know you were actually getting your graduate degree. Is that right? When you kind of started to really pursue the hobby. So what kind of made you decide to pursue it that much more, and did anyone push you to start to sell on the side?
Yeah, actually I was in graduate school working on a PhD in American literature, and I used to always love to make things just because I needed to do things with my hands rather than my head sometimes, just to blow off steam. And I had to go to a party, to a friend's birthday party, and being a poor graduate student, I had no money, so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to make these earrings. And I made a pair of earrings, and when I got to the party, everyone flipped out over them. I mean, everyone just went crazy. They're like, make me some, make me some. So I made more, and it was pretty much the thing that made me start my business was just the demand for the things that I made. I never intended to have a business. I never intended to do that, but it seemed pretty obvious that I should.
And how did you get your inspiration to start using old bottles to make your collections? Did you do it initially, or?
No, it was a couple of years in, and I had a friend who very early in the movement had an environmental store in Atlanta, and she had said, oh, I love your jewelry, but everything in our store has to be recycled. Can you do anything with recycled glass? And I hadn't up to that point, so I just kind of thought about it, and then a couple days later I was in my bathroom doing my hair, and I had this blue hair product bottle. It was an Aveda Brilliant bottle, and I just remember thinking, like, oh my gosh, that color is so beautiful, and then I was like, it has all that ingredient wording on it. And I was like, oh my gosh, wait, this is going to be amazing. And I dumped out the product and ran to my workbench and made the first round of recycled jewelry using the glass from the bottle. And it was a huge hit at the store. Everyone went crazy over it.
Wow. And so you started off with Aveda. What did you use before you used recycled products? They were nuggets from the stained glass industry. They were basically an end product from the making of stained glass for church windows and things. Oh, okay. And I know you do a lot with Coca-Cola. Is there any particular reason?
Well, it's a great story. I had been doing my line of recycled jewelry for quite a few years, and one day I was in the studio, and the phone rang, and I picked it up, and it happened to be the director of new product development and hard goods purchasing at the Coca-Cola Corporation, and they had seen my work in a local boutique, and called me completely unsolicited and said, we love your work. It's amazing. We want you to do that out of our bottles. When can we meet with you? When can you bring us samples?
Oh, wow. And do you ever do, if like a customer sends you a specific bottle with maybe like, I don't know, sentimental meaning, would you ever customize jewelry, or you haven't kind of segmented that yet?
Yeah, we can do that. I don't do it a lot just because I'm so busy, but I definitely can. And that's exactly what they do is they can send in their bottle with their order, and we, work from there. There are some limitations because using recycled, I kind of have to see what they send me. But, yeah, we can do that. It's been fun. I've done different things for friends. One of my most popular colors in my line is this sagey kind of gold color. And the first bottle I ever got of that, my friends brought me a bottle of wine to my birthday party, and we drank it. And then when the bottle was empty, I was like, oh my gosh, that color is amazing. Took it back to the studio, and that became part of the line.
Oh wow! I know you use, like you said, you use Aveda and obviously Coke. Is there any company in particular that you haven't worked with that you would really want to reach out to, or any, company with really beautiful glass bottles?
Wow, I mean, I'm happy to work with just about anybody, but I think I use a lot of the little mini Pellegrinos from Starbucks. So I would love to work with, like Pellegrino or Perrier. Their bottles are very popular. Talked a little bit with Anheuser-Busch. We use a lot of Bud Light.
That color is so pretty, though. That's the lightest brown color, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the beer bottles are my favorite because it's the most common of elements. I mean, it's a beer bottle, and it comes out to be one of the most beautiful colors and some of the most beautiful jewelry, and I just think that's the ultimate alchemy.
Wow. And I know each of your piece of your jewelry is handmade, so how long does it take you to make a piece of jewelry?
Well, it's a long process because I always say the process starts with drinking the beer. I'm just kidding. First, we have to, get the empty bottle, and then we cut the bottle on a saw, by hand, every single circle, and then we have to take those circles and we have to fire them in a kiln to smooth them out. It tempers them. It also, the glass moves a little bit as it's heated and cooled, and so it kind of makes a more organic shape. Then we have to take those circles and grind them again to make sure there's no sharp edges or anything like that, and that produces our base product. And then we can design the jewelry up from there. And that's what I think it's important for people to know that with a lot of the recycled and repurposed products that we really have to go backwards before we can go forward because we're creating our own raw materials. And, sometimes people wonder why recycled things cost a little bit more than the typical counterpart, and it's because we have to, we're not just buying